Whether you're a brand new player just starting your journey or you've already been deep in Soulframe for a while and still feel a bit lost, these tips will help you avoid the same mistakes I made.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Hey guys, how are you doing? So, I'm going to break down the most common errors players make and show you exactly how to sidestep them so you can progress faster, have a much smoother experience, and have plenty of important crafting materials so you're never scrambling when you actually need them. Now, this is almost like a hidden secret because almost no one puts enough emphasis on it. Moonsteel weapons are one of the rarest finds in the game, and with Soulframe having almost zero tutorials other than Orlick, which I highly recommend you do for the extra gear. Other than that, the game never actually tells you how to do pretty much anything, although this was always the core of the game, to explore. So let's begin with the one I regret the most. So, when you're looting weapons on the ground, there are two key things you need to look at. Firstly, check the top left side of the weapon. If you see a silver-colored vine, you've found yourself a Moonsteel weapon. Pick it up immediately because it's probably one of the rarest weapons in the game because of the very low drop rate. Secondly, always check the Craftwork rank. If it says Legendary, also pick this one up immediately. This is the final stage of a weapon and the point where you can start customizing tempers. Tempers are the buffs for that weapon. They can add voltaic damage for lightning effects, increase your movement speed, boost overall damage, and that is just the tip of the iceberg. Also, if you see a Sovereign weapon, grab it even if you already have that same weapon. Sovereign is only one tier below Legendary, so you barely need to farm material to upgrade it the rest of the way. Just keep in mind that these higher tier drops are much more easier to drop when you are in Koga mode, which is Soulframe's take on a hard mode. The next tip is loot everything you come across. Smash every barrel, crate, and box you see, and make sure you always shoot down those floating balloons. They're one of the best sources of crafting materials in the game and become especially important when you're upgrading weapons toward Legendary. You can also find these dendrite weaves in the crypt of the Cicade when destroying these pots scattered around the dungeon. Don't ignore weapon racks either, since they're great for scrap metal, and always check the small sacks that sometimes drop next to fallen enemies. Places like the Durmak Undercity are packed with balloons, chests, and racks, making them excellent for looting. Another big tip that a lot of players overlook is to constantly change your weapons and packs. Both weapons and packs rank up all the way to level 30, and every time they level up, your overall Envoy level, also called Mastery rank, increases as well. This means you should never stick to the same loadout for too long. As soon as a weapon or pack hits rank 30, switch to a new one and start leveling that instead. The more different weapons and packs you rank up, the faster your Envoy level will climb. A nice bonus is that your secondary weapon also gains experience even when you're not actively using it, so you're progressing on multiple items at the same time. Higher Envoy level makes the game noticeably easier. Enemies become easier to handle, farms go faster, and you unlock a better overall progression. So make it a habit to keep swapping weapons and packs regularly instead of using the same ones forever. Keep your Spectral Sight turned on as often as possible. A lot of players only use it occasionally, but leaving it active most of the time is a huge advantage. One of the biggest reasons is that it helps you spot these small hidden creatures that drop important dye ingredients. Most people completely miss them because they're easy to overlook without Spectral Sight. When you do find one, you need to sneak up on it carefully and either pluck or kill the biggest one. If you run straight at them, they will jump up and start exploding. These ingredients are surprisingly valuable, and a lot of players only realize how useful they are much later in the game when they actually need them to craft the dyes. Next thing to avoid is try not to rely too heavily on your spirit guide for directions. The bird is very useful, especially early on, because it can help you locate nearby fables and ancestors once you're in the right area, and you should definitely send it out regularly to reveal points of interest. However, Soulframe was intentionally designed around exploration. Not every quest or storyline is automatically marked by the bird, and some important interactions, side stories, and even certain ancestors only appear if you wander off the main path and discover them yourself. The developers clearly made it so players explore the world rather than just follow a trail of markers. While there are plenty of online guides available if you get completely stuck, that sense of discovery only happens once, particularly in the early parts of the game. Constantly relying on the bird or jumping straight to marked objectives can make you miss a lot of the experience the game is built around. So use the spirit guide as a helpful tool, but make sure you still take time to explore on your own. When exploring the open world, the compass at the top of your screen can occasionally vanish, especially after area transitions. In those moments, simply press G or the equivalent controller button to summon your Sparrow Guide. It will both point you toward your current objective or waypoint and temporarily restore the compass. However, for a more permanent fix, head into the settings menu and enable the Compass Always Visible toggle. This keeps the compass, which also functions like a radar that highlights objectives, enemies, and markers locked on screen at all times. You'll sacrifice a bit of the game's cinematic, but the constant navigation aid is far more convenient than repeatedly summoning your sparrow. This especially comes in handy when tackling faction tales, or else also known as Sparrow's Tales or Enclave Votives. They repeatable missions offered by your chosen faction, whether that's Alka's Children, Kith of Kings, or Silent Rose. These quests not only reward you with solid extra loot, crafting materials, and gear fragments, but they're also the primary way to earn faction standing, which is a sort of experience to level up your faction and buy things from the faction shop. So ranking up that standing is essential because it unlocks exclusive rewards in your faction's favors shop, including powerful new packs, weapons, armor, sacred shimmer, and other high-tier items. The fastest way to build standing is to prioritize higher tier, especially 3-star faction tales, but they also scale with enemy difficulty and deliver significantly more standing and better rewards. Heading to the far northern regions of Midrath is particularly effective, since tales there feature higher-level enemies, which means they grant even greater standing gains per completion. However, you can actually accelerate your progress even further by actively fighting enemies and mini-bosses across the open world. They frequently drop Enclave favors, which are items such as Bask Bulb, Syneculum, or Sinner's Stratagem. Now here's a tip that makes a huge difference in gaining those faction ranking faster or even getting more standing to buy extra things. So you will need to go to the favors shop and hereby sell. You can sell those items for extra standing. Also, if you've been fast traveling a lot across the map for bosses, sieges, or high-tier faction tales, you already know how precious Wevetseeds or fast travel seeds really are. Instead of burning one every time you need to return to your faction enclave to turn in standing or rank up, there's a clever, free alternative. Head into your Nightfold, equip the Fipple Flute or use the music emote, and successfully play the short song. This transports you into the Eternium Gardens. Don't select any of the garden instances, simply exit or back out immediately. In most cases, you'll respawn closer to your enclave. From there, it's only a short run to any of the 3 faction enclaves: Alka's Children, Kith of Kings, or the Silent Rose. This makes it perfect for quick-standing turn-ins or shopping at the favors vendor, or just looking what you need to save up to. This little dimensional loophole costs 0 Wevetseeds and can save you dozens of them over a long session. Note that the exact spawn point can be slightly inconsistent depending on how you exit, but even when it varies, you're still far closer to the heart of the map than most other locations. One of the biggest early game mistakes in Soulframe is also putting off clearing every world tree. These distinctive trees, each marked by a spear or polearm driven into the trunk, are scattered across Midrath and serve as the primary way to lift the heavy fog that blankets your map at the start. Interacting with one cleanses the corruption and instantly reveals a large surrounding region. This does award a bit of mastery rank progress and often yields a craftable polearm fragment called the Duck Halleck. Leaving the map fogged for too long turns what would be a normal navigation into a constant struggle. You miss higher-level faction tales that spawn in the northern zones, overlook important points of interest, and make it far harder to plan efficient routes for exploration or standing farms. Players who make it a priority to hunt down and clear every world tree in their first few sessions consistently report that the entire game feels transformed. The world suddenly becomes readable, quest markers and sparrow paths become far more useful, and the sense of scale and possibility opens up dramatically. However, I just want to end this on a good note, so while you are exploring for trees, don't look up map guides where they are. Rather, explore the world while looking for these trees. This will give you a better sense of the game instead of just going directly to them. So yeah, guys, that wraps up everything for now. So this is up till Preludes 15. If anything changes, I'll link it in the comment section, so smash that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.